Coronavirus, Trump, and Black Lives Matter, June 13th, 2020. In no particular order, I'm just going through notes. So I just watched a video about Trump by the guy that actually wrote The Art of the Deal. His name is Tony Schwartz. He wrote the actual book. And he goes on about how Trump is a total psychopath. And at one point, he was giving a lecture to Oxford University, and they asked, is Trump a misogynist and a rapist? A racist. Yeah, we know he's a rapist. And his answer was, it was exactly what I thought it would be, because I've had Trump pegged from day one. He definitely is a misogynist. Whether he's a racist, well, if you help him, then he likes you, right? I'm going to speak for this guy. Yeah, he loves you if you help make his life better. It's all about him. He's a misogynist, though, because he hates women, because he's attracted to women. And it drives him crazy that he doesn't have the power over them that he has over, like, men, in order to, like, get them to do what he wants. He can't force them to be attracted to him. That's why he hates women. And I have a bit of an insight. I think we all have an insight into how Trump's brain works, because just think about you at your worst, right? When a girl doesn't like you, you get mad and you think that she's a bitch. But that's Trump all the time. Most of us smarten up and say, give it a rest. Like, she has every right to not like you. You're not the biggest deal in the world. Trump never listens to us. He never says that to himself. And even if he did, he wouldn't be listening. Now, Trump is a total psychopath, right? And that, some people think that means that he's smart, because psychopaths are linked to intelligence sometimes. I don't think there's any connection. I think all psychopaths are probably idiots. But he's an especially stupid psychopath. But he's a total psychopath, but thank God he's not smart. I mean, Hitler was probably a smarter psychopath. But even then, I don't think he was very smart. I think of psychopaths as children. Basically, they just never matured, and so they're basically like retarded. Almost literally retarded, because they were stifled from advancing, Now on to Black Lives Matter. I just want to say, first of all and foremost, rap music is shit. Hip-hop is shit. Okay? Just get that out of my system. But before you say racism, I think rock music is shit. So ha ha ha. I hate it all equally. Now, I'm not very knowledgeable about 20th century? Yeah, 20th century music. But there's some amazing songs by like, the Shirelles are awesome. And then there's that song. I don't know the name of the dude, but the song is like, do you love me? I'm in the groove now that I can dance. That's like the best song ever. They invented that style of music, and that's actually on the better side of the shit that is 20th century music. That's like the high point, and that taught everybody. That's something to brag about. Rap music is shit. Rap music is for people who are musically retarded. I want to keep this short, so I'll just go through my list of notes. My notes, which has a list, which is a list. So Black Lives Matter. So what were you doing before it was trending? And that's to anybody who's like, because I can't walk down the street without seeing a million signs about how Black Lives Matter. What were you doing before now? Why did it take this for you to realize that Black Lives Matter? Could it be because it's popular now? Could it be that if it suddenly becomes not popular, you'll stop caring so much about it? Would you do this on your own if the majority of the world wasn't doing it? So the argument would be, let them have their moment. But then I'm thinking, this moment should be reserved for the coronavirus, because that's much more urgent. And I don't think this is true, but I seem to remember that during the Gay Pride Parade in Toronto, the Black Lives Matter movement came in and eclipsed the Gay Pride Parade. They had their own parade within the parade saying Black Lives Matter. So they didn't let the gays have their moment. Now, I'm not sure this is true, because I think I just heard it. But whether it's true or not, hypothetically, if your movement doesn't care about other movements, then why should your movement be cared about? I think my point is just that there's a lot of people and races and genders that are suffering, and they also deserve their time, and I hope they get that. And it's not at the expense of one race getting all of the attention. And I'm not including myself. I've got it very easy, in my opinion. So I don't care. I don't need my time. I do think that the focus, because of that George, what's his name, that got killed, should be on defunding the police, and it should be about the police not having so much power. I don't think it's as strong to talk about how the police abuse black people, because the police abuse everybody. There's just so much abuse that goes on. So let's just focus on defunding the police, and that'll make everybody happy. I don't think this is a black thing, and I think that's a good thing for us to remind ourselves of, because it's racist in a way to make it a black thing, because then they're separating themselves from everybody else. I think it would be more constructive to say this is a police thing. It wasn't a black man who was killed. It was a human being that was killed. That's what's important, as far as I can tell. I mean, would it be any better if it was a white person that was killed by a cop? Would that not be outrageous? And I remember that movie Crash, which was celebrated for fighting racism. It was a movie about racism, and it got all these Oscars, and now nobody will ever watch it again because it was actually kind of shitty. And I remember saying, this movie isn't about racism. This is about stupid people. Like, that person didn't do all that damage because they were racist. They did it because they were stupid. And and that's the same with this. Like, the cop didn't do that because the guy was black. He did it because he's an asshole. You know, and like, and the argument that I hear the most, which has, of course, some validity, is that, but blacks have a history in the United States that needs to be addressed. Well, I mean, to some degree it has been digressed. But to another degree, how much can it be discussed? I mean, we can't just talk about it forever. Things have changed. You can't just bring it up forever and expect more change. Like, what do you want, really? I mean, do you want it to be the case where, I don't even know, where black people automatically get all the good jobs, no matter what? It's just like a prerequisite? Because if that's what you want, that's like condescending. That sucks for you. And I detect a lot of false sincerity, which really turns my stomach. I want to see if these people who care so much, especially the white people who care so much about the Black Lives Matter movement, I want to see if they're still protesting in a year when it's not popular, like it is right now. It's all the rage right now, and it's mainly because people want to get out of their house because they're cooped up from the social distancing. So this is a great excuse to get out and to see people for a change. So they're using it. They're using Black Lives Matter for the wrong, for their own agenda, which is disgusting to me. And another thing is that a lot of police officers are black. So, cops come in black too. So, how does that work? I would just focus on defund the police. We can deal with, fucking Will Smith, Kanye West, they couldn't be more popular. Black people could not be more accepted in pop culture. I'd be more interested in protesting about the natives. That's what I've always said. They're the ones who really, almost got extinguished. It was like a Holocaust. It was like a genocide. But I guess native lives don't matter. I don't think white lives matter, but certainly native lives matter just as much, if not more, than black lives in North America. And on the subject of them tearing down statues of racist people in the States, and even in England, they're taking down statues, the public. What's my opinion on that? Sure. If the people don't want the statues have to go. Because a statue is there to celebrate something that people are proud of. Now, to say that it's part of history, well, if it's part of history, put it in a racist museum. That would be appropriate. Take that statue of Adolf Hitler and put it in a racism museum. It's not about erasing history as much as it's about not celebrating history. Because a statue is there to celebrate your pride in that person. the community's pride in that person. And if the community has no pride and they're ashamed of that person, then the statue goes away. That's fair. And I think it's important to ask uncomfortable questions and not just, oh yeah, Black Lives Matter and that's all I've ever cared about and I'm a good person now. Like, fuck off. It's so easy for you to do that now. Like, when the fucking go with the grain, when the fucking go with the current when it's going your way. Fucking indifferent. Fucking, what's the word for them? Fair weather friends. Fickle. So that's about it for today. My main thing is that this thing doesn't smell like sincerity, this whole protest movement. It smells like something fishy's going on. I don't like how it's just popular. I don't like anything. I don't trust anything that's popular, this popular. Especially when all the focus should be on the coronavirus. Coronavirus is like just so happy right now. And maybe you people will all spread it with your protests and then you'll all be stuck at home again. If you like gays, click like. If you like blacks, comment. If you like women, click notification bell. If you like gay women, subscribe. And if you like gay black women, Patreon, Human Warnings, give me money.